Hello everyone and welcome back to another Minecraft update video. I cannot believe what I see behind me as soon as I hit record. I was going to start off by showing you the scaffolding, but now you've got a good idea of what's going to be in this update. This snapshot video. That's so cool. That's so cool. Distractions, people. This is 18w45a and in this snapshot we have scaffolding, as you can see behind me. Unfortunately, it doesn't enter the game with a crafting recipe. I was trying to figure this out using bamboo and sticks, which is what it is on Bedrock Edition. So I used a command. Even though the recipe is selectable here, it doesn't seem to have an actual recipe. So let's go ahead and check it out. Scaffolding is the block that's going to replace dirt when using for buildings. That's what everyone used to scaffold around. As you can see, you can walk up to scaffolding, hold down spacebar to go upwards, and then you will drop onto the block that you're on. You can hold down shift to slide downwards. So it kind of works like a ladder, but you can also stand on this block as well. So I can go out here and stand on these blocks. Now if I hold down shift right here when there is no scaffolding below the block I'm standing on, we then won't slide through it. That is very useful, and placing this stuff is quite easy as well. If I click right here, you'll see that it goes and places the block. If I click in the same spot again, it puts another one up here, and it'll keep doing that all the way up to the sky limit of the world, which is actually what I did with this one over here. So when it comes to breaking scaffolding after you've built with it, all you got to do is break the bottom one and all supporting scaffolds will fall down. And that is quite remarkable to see. It is raining scaffolding. So the scaffolding can support blocks up to, is it 5 or is it 4 here? It's actually 4, isn't it? So if I go ahead and place a 5th block over here, what it's going to do is fall down like so, because it can only support 4 blocks outwards. But I actually like this feature because then you can just sit here and hold down right click. Eventually it catches up. You can keep going over to the side, although I must say it's tricky to aim at the side when you can't hold shift to move all the way out. And you can come over here and do the same thing again. And that means that rather naturally your scaffolding will look like it has support, because every time you branch out to the side you've got to stack back up again, which I actually think looks really realistic. Let's go ahead and break this one right here though and watch all of that zap out. Let's break this one here so you can see how the support of the structure works. It is not possible, however, to trick the system. If I try and place a block to the side here, you'll see that it falls down even though it's branching off this support right here. That is pretty cool. Now when you place this, as I've already shown, you can sort of right click like this to go upwards. You can also place on the inside of the block against its hitbox so it comes out on the opposite side. The block can be waterlogged as well. And after growing impatient waiting, it doesn't look like the scaffolding is flammable. However, on the Bedrock edition of the game, if you put it next to fire or lava, after a while it will catch fire and then disappear. And it takes a very long time, but it is indeed a flammable block. This stuff burns so much quicker on the Bedrock edition of the game. Now the Minecraft sign has gotten a lot of love in this update with 5 new wood types for it. And now we are able to edit the text. What do I mean by that? We can press left and right. We can go back into the middle of a sentence and make changes. That's fantastic. We can also highlight text now as well, meaning we can use copy and paste, which is wonderful. And I'd love it if you could also click with the cursor somewhere on the line that you want to edit. That would be fantastic. Unfortunately, that's not in. And I also would really love it if you could just right click on the sign to open that menu up again. But this is a fantastic change so far. And before we get to the pillagers, which I know you're probably dying to see, I want to talk about some optimizations that have been made in this 1.14 update. In the first snapshot of 1.14, we had this note in the changelog saying that there was a new lighting engine, and I wanted to do this test ever since. So here we are in 1.13.2. We're high up in the world. We're going to turn some redstone lamps on and off, and the lighting updates are going to drop down through the world and cause us lots of problems. So we want to pay attention to the FPS and the integrated server as well. When I stand on this pressure plate and activate the lamps, you can see our frames are getting herky-jerky, going all over the place, and the server is struggling as well. So let's take a step back. Things go back to normal. Now this used to be caused by redstone that was high up in the world as well, but that's since been optimized. So when we stand on here, our frames are okay, but as you can see, the server tick time has doubled there. So not sure if that's really that much of a big deal. If we do the same thing with pistons, you can see it's a little bit more intensive on the server and our frames are relatively fine as well. If we combine pistons and light sources though, that's where the real headache is. So let's do this test and you can see our frames are getting annihilated and the server is being annihilated too. So now we are in the update that has this new lighting engine. We're going to walk over onto the lamps which destroyed our frames last time. And you can see we move around and this is really smooth. And if we look at the server as well, it is handling this with next to no problem at all. That is fantastic. We're probably not going to see much of a difference with the redstone. That seems to be about the same. If we pop over here, what are we getting? That's a little bit better, I believe. And then last of all, the mega lag machine. Let's see how this one does. Nothing. Nothing. That's amazing. They fixed it. It's wonderful. So lighting updates may not be as exciting as Illager beasts and pillagers, but it will drastically increase the performance of the game. And over here we have a party of 5 raiders. It says on the website that they're always going to be in a group of 5. There will be 1 Illager beast and then an additional 4 pillagers, one of them who sits on top with this really cool banner right here. Now I've managed to stop this mob by using this command, so it's going to be stuck there because it has slowness 255, which means it can't move. And I've also used this other command right here, data get entity, to have a look at all the data attached to this mob right here to see if there was anything special like a tag for being in a raid party, but it doesn't seem so. However, they do like to stick together, which I found interesting. Now the banner on top isn't anything special either. As you can see here, it's just 6 layers that you can make like normal, but it's still a really cool thing to have. So the official changelog for this snapshot doesn't really tell us much more than we know already. It does tell us that it can spawn at any village type though, so what we'll probably do is teleport around the world and see if we can see a siege taking place. Now there is one more observation that I have made. When we started this video we had a pack of them spawn just in this area over here. That happens to be 100 blocks away from the village itself, and that happened in the daytime. Now when I changed it tonight they spawned in the same location again, so I'm going to guess that there is some sort of algorithm that defines a position 100 blocks away from the village and that this can happen at any time of day. But anyway, I'm just going to fly around to different villages and see what we can find. So a party has spawned over here and this time there is a Vindicator with them as well, so it seems possible that there can be a mix of different Illagers, and they do actually appear to be patrolling because they're kind of going in a circular path around this village. Now there is actually another party just over there somewhere, but as you can see the game is being very funky for me, and this stuff just it's not loading. And look at that, you can have a Vindicator with one of these banners as well. That reminds me, by the way, this banner has an orange name, so you can actually consider that a collectible. Even though you can craft the same thing, you wouldn't be able to give it the orange name. So I got a tip from a friend that if you make a flat weld, they will just spawn everywhere. And as you can see, they are just ruining this village, basically. The AI is also supposed to be a little bit clumsy. I've read that they often shoot each other by mistake, which is probably no surprise. And this is crazy, man. Look, there's just loads of them everywhere. I don't know if it's going to be like this in a regular world, but of course this needs some work and some balancing. And hey look, another party just popped out of nowhere. And if I keep going around, I keep just seeing them pop into existence, but the further away from the village, there's no other mobs with them. This is really quite strange. Another quick thing I wanted to mention is those new blocks we got in the last update. They actually have some functionality to them. You can put items inside because they are basically clones of furnaces, so this thing will light up and start smelting, as you can see. It is believed that the blast furnace is probably going to be used for smelting irons and things like that, and the whole process will be split between multiple blocks, so the smoker will probably be for cooking food. But that is just speculation for now, and that is a wonderful animation right there. This barrel though, this is actually a container. It has the same type size inventory as a chest does. So if I go and chuck some items up here, they're actually inside the barrel, which we can't access. So if we break this, we'll see the items go into the chest down below, and let's break those as well. Two minor things to mention. The command /drop has been removed and replaced with /loot. That is the new name for the command. And if we go into the resource pack menu, I mentioned this last video. Unfortunately though, it wasn't actually in yet. So the programmer art, the classic look of Minecraft, can be selected over here, and you get those old textures back. In this snapshot, we didn't get any new textures, but we got this tweet from Jasper confirming that that was the case, and he'd be resuming work on them next snapshot. Now, with these snapshot videos, I do like to try and fill in the gaps when I miss something. So I showed off some of the new textures last time, and I forgot to show the cactus, which I actually really like. I think this is a gorgeous texture right here. At the beginning of last week's video, we had some funkiness with placing down blocks. I managed to fix that by turning down my render distance so the game wasn't overloaded, and because of that I kind of missed what I tried to do, which was place a bell on the underside of the block, which is actually possible, and as you can see it removes the wooden slats from the side of the model. In the last snapshot we tried to figure out how it was that cats would give you gifts. It's actually when you're sleeping on a bed that they will bring you gifts. Looks like this one has brought me a rabbit hide. And this time I got a raw chicken. Another adorable detail is that the cats are drawn to the bed, and when you sleep in it they jump on the bed and they purr. There is also an advancement for taming all of the 10 different cat variants, and I imagine that'll go up to 11 after the competition for the cat skin has ended. And so my friends, that brings us to the end of this snapshot video. If you have enjoyed it, then leave a like on the video. It makes a difference here on YouTube, and I appreciate you supporting me, doing what I do. And if you're not subscribed, then subscribe for more update videos. I will keep you up to date every week when they release a snapshot. So that's it from me. Thank you ever so much for watching, and I'll see you soon with another one. Bye bye.